Oh, yeah. Here we go, y'all. Oh, it's the best day of the week. It's the start of the week. You know how we do over here, from the battle to the glory. Yes, from the battle to the glory. Oh, man, listen. Brother is getting back. My leg is feeling better. Got to go to MRI tomorrow. And then I'm back at work Thursday. So, you know, I'm back on the grind. Listen. Woo! Yes, we are here. And listen, we got our host from the Sipping and Tripping podcast. He here. Desmond Black, you already know what he do over there. He be sipping and tripping, but he educate and enlightenment, man. He know we do. That's what we do, man. We just have entertainment, but it also is in good love, is in good truth, and so we want to know that we love him as well as being here on the podcast right now. And Lady T, of course, you got your number one fan, Lady T. We know she here. Lady T, what's going on?
Nothing much. You know, we're here again, another week. Time is flying.
Oh, man, is it? Time is flying. D, how was your day so far?
It could have been better. I mean, I've been asleep all day, so
okay.
It could have been better.
I know, Lady T.
Yeah, that's a good day.
Nah, I mean, literally, I've been asleep all day, except for, like, I've been up probably like 2 hours all day so far.
I would love that. Ooh.
Listen, that's opposite of me. I listen, I've been in the house for the last 2.5, almost 3 weeks, and I'm telling you right now, I've been going crazy. Can't do really too much. I was like, oh my goodness, no walking, no nothing, man.
Bro, yes.
What?
I'm out of commission. I'm out of commission too. You see this?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the later, team. But yeah. But it's been a long road. I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm ready to get back at work. But guess what? I'm being honest, like, it definitely was an eye opener. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by eye opener is, like, man, your life can change in the wink of an eye, man. For real. Like, just being down, like, I'm an active person, and just being home, not able to move and maneuver the way I want to. I can't look. My wife went shopping. I couldn't even help her with the bags. You know how crazy I was. Like, oh my, I can't be like this. You know what I'm saying? She took the laundry downstairs. I couldn't help her. Nobody here, just us two. So just imagine, like, I know that I'm needed. You know what I'm saying? Not only needed, but, you know, I feel like that's a big responsibility for me. You know what I'm saying? So when it's big like that, I need to do the things that I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, eating the right things. And I just told my wife to give me some fried chicken because I got the taste for it. But, you know, other than that, you know, just eat healthy. I've been juicing. I said I started juicing, been doing that. Started taking these vitamins and stuff like that, strengthening everything. Because as you get older, that's what you need. You need those type of things, those nutrients you need. And so that's the key of just doing the things that you need. And, you know, for the people that are watching from TikTok, it's a podcast. I'm on a podcast right now. From the battle to the glory. It's on YouTube. You can always subscribe, hit the like button and subscribe as well. You know, we do great things over here, and we definitely are encouraging. Today's topic is letting go of what no longer serves you. And so this is what we're going to dive into today. We're going to talk about this. We'll have conversation. You know how we do over here. We always encourage and enlighten and trying to change the perspective of how you derive at where you at in your life, or trying to increase or make it better for yourself. Just learning how to navigate in this world, because we have a lot of people out in this world that will try to steer you the wrong way and give you these false hope, this false idea of what life's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? You are the person that's supposed to direct you is God. And if you don't allow God to do that, you know, you're doing it on your own. And sometimes you can make a mess of it. And so with that being said, we're going to jump right into our topic, letting go of what no longer serves you. And so as we begin to this, Lady T, take it away. You know, I got to go. Got Lady T taking it away. Go ahead, Lady T.
Okay, so this question has come to my mind, and I've heard it a bunch of times around, you know, different places. And I've had to ask myself, what is it that I'm still carrying that no longer nourishes my growth? Right?
Okay.
So that's where the no longer serving me or us, you, That's the question. And I think that I've had to look at it for my own personal experience is like, for me, is the fear of the unknown. Um, Fear of letting go of the unknown, which is basically not knowing what to expect. So I think that for me, it's always been a mental thing, limiting beliefs, things that I have carried around me, that I'm not good enough, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm not creative. Those are the limiting beliefs that are no longer serving me. I can't think like that anymore. I can't tell my mind over and over, I can't do this and I can't do that. So those are the limiting beliefs that I've seen in myself that are no longer serving me, because I'm like, of course, I have to go back into scripture. I wish I could say it off the top of my head, but we have, I am the conqueror. We have scripture that can tell us about who we truly are in Christ. And so I have to remind myself that, the limiting beliefs that I have, that's not serving me. It's not helping me. And, there are other things about myself, like, I do have a perfectionism type of way, where I want to see things in a perfect order, or a perfect behavior, or a perfect, process. It doesn't work like that. I've had to let those limiting beliefs get out of my way, because it's not helping me. It's not helping the people around me, because everybody is different. So I have like an overthinking sometimes. I have, something that is an internal thing that I've had to learn how to say, it's no longer doing you any good. Stop. Because it's very, profound in my life. Like, everything lately has been, me seeing, you got to stop. That's not going to work. This is a new era. This is a new day.
Mhm.
So for myself, I feel like I am exploring the things about myself that I need to get out of the way and let God introduce me to the truth of who I am, because it's no longer serving me to have, and I'm going to say, limiting beliefs, limited mindset, or overthinking and having still a limited mindset. What do you guys think about it? What do you think that is no longer nourishing your soul or yourself?
What about you, Des? How you feel? Letting go of things that no longer serve you.
I mean, that's definitely important. As far as that walk, right? Like, you have to focus on self honesty, right? You got to recognize what fits in your life and what no longer fits in your life, and then it's the acceptance part, right? You have to accept that change is a natural part of life, and then it's also a part of growth. Once you're in that space where you're willing to let go of what no longer serves you, then you can truly grow, right? But you can't fully grow into your full potential until you start letting go of what no longer serves you. So, I mean, it's a lot of things that don't serve me anymore. Hasn't been serving me for a long time, right? But sometimes it's hard to let it go because of fear, of that change or whatnot. So, it's a work in progress.
I agree.
Well, for me, things that, well, I've done it, I'm still doing it. Things that do not serve me anymore is like toxicity. People that they just not trying to prosper. They just stuck in their old ways. They're not trying to change. They're not even looking to change. And so I remove myself from that company. Just being around negative people, just being around people that's not trying to say take accountability of their own actions and say, you know what, there's time for me to look in the mirror and make a change. Just things like that, and it just that don't serve me anymore, because I used to be like that, just being around like just anybody that I thought that was, you know, my friend. He can even be family, just being around family and just and guess what? Where am I getting out of it? Having that relationship, what am I getting out of it to say just because this person is my family that I have to indulge in just being in a relationship with that person? You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things no longer serve me. You know what I'm saying? That's one. You know what I mean? And then also just just watching certain things on TV. I used to watch. I'm being honest. Like I used to watch this show. I stopped watching it a long time ago. What's the brothers? I don't know if y'all know. Des, you might know it. The two brothers, they like fighting the devil, and the angels come and help them. What's that? Supernatural.
Oh,
Supernatural.
yeah, I never
Series?
got into that.
Nah, yeah, it's big. It's supernatural. That's what it is. It's big.
Yeah, I've been
And,
around. That's been around for years. I
right.
think
They-
they brought it back out. I believe.
They still be doing it. I don't know if it's still live, but yeah, I used to watch that. And let me tell you something. It was kind of true, but then there was some type of it was false in some of the things it said. Some of the things they were saying was good, but then the devil coming up on earth and doing all these time. I mean, those type of things. I was like, let me stop watching this, because it wasn't going to change my perception on the whole angel and the devil or anything. But what was it doing for me? You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. That's why I said just watching certain things that I'm not supposed to watch. I really remove from that, refrain from that, because I always say that our eyes and our ears are the gateway to our hearts, and so the things that we indulge in, sometimes it can hinder you, because guess what? It plays on your mind. Not only plays on your mind, but it also gives you the desire of the flesh based on the things that you see, things that you indulge in it, and it begins to have a great appetite. You begin to have an appetite for those type of things, and it's not, beneficial. So things that don't benefit me, I'm not, partaking in. I'm not doing, I'm not indulging those things. So, things like that don't serve me, that don't do anything. They're not pouring into my life. They're not adding value. I really don't, deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I always want to be led, by the Spirit. And why I say led by the Spirit is because sometimes things that I feel that is right could be my personal opinion, my personal feeling, but it can affect somebody else. So I have to be mindful, allowing, God to be my leader, not me. Because sometimes when you get stuck in your emotions, you say and you do the wrong thing, and it can offend and hurt somebody else's feelings, truly. So, things like that don't longer serve me. You know what I mean? No value. What is it? Is it adding value to my life? No, I don't think so. So,
Yeah,
that's just good.
I'm glad you brought up the family thing, because I was going back and forth when I found out the topic, if I should even mention certain things. Obviously no names or anything like that, but yeah, you hit the nail on the head when you said, sometimes family as well, right? Just because they're family, just because they share your blood, don't mean you have to surround yourself with them or conversate with them. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes family, are, like you said, it's toxic, and they don't pour into your life. They don't bring value to your life, right? And the opposite of value, right? For lack of better words, it's a detriment, right? So if they don't bring value to your life, they're detrimental to your life, and you don't need them in your life. You need to remove them from your space. So I'm glad you brought that up, because uh, one of the things as far as letting go or what no longer serves you is you have to shift your perspective, right? You have to focus on the freedom of new possibilities, and that come with letting go, rather than dwelling on what you might lose. And that's what I was alluding to in the beginning of the show, right? When I said that, like, there's something that I struggle with, because sometimes we get caught up with the good times or the good memories, and when you have that in your mind that maybe it's time to let this person go or let this thing go, you think about the good times you have with that thing or that person, and that's what makes it difficult. But to fully grow and develop, you have to remove yourself. You have to let go. You have to get rid of that fear, and that's something that right now, man. Like I woke up this morning and I said I had to do better with that. I had to make a vow to myself to only allow positivity and people that's going to pour into my life to be in my life. If they don't do that, it's time to go.
Lady.
Yeah, you guys are really talking about toxic relationships and draining relationships or friendships, right? I know what you're saying, and I totally agree. We do have to separate ourselves from individuals that are not about growth or not trying to be on the same page or the same path as us, and we can do it in a loving way, but it can be difficult because you might have to cut them off in a abrupt in the harsh way because
Right.
sometimes it's necessary. I feel like you cannot talk the same way to everybody. Their language can be different. And some people speak a language where they curse or they're loud and they're rude, and you're going to have to give them that exact, conversation. And it's like, hey, this is how you talk. This is how I'm going to talk back to you. Nothing wrong with it. But sometimes you have to know how to be kind in a loving and tender way. But relationships that are draining and toxic is definitely necessary to let go, because if it's not working for your growth, then it's no need to continuously. I mean, if it's meant to be, they'll come back in your life, if it's meant to be. If it's supposed to be somebody that is supposed to be in your life, they'll come back. It's always a full circle in life of how we can walk away from one situation and another door opens and you come back to the same past to see it over again in a different perspective. And that's growth too. And as long as we can accept that about our journey, then I think that that's part of, what we can let go that's no longer serving us and grow. So I'm glad you guys brought that up. But I'll say this. For me also, I think emotional baggage is also something to let go as well. Emotional baggage like unforgiveness, resentment, fear of rejection or abandonment, emotionally attached to people that are really not there, unavailable for you. Those are emotionally baggage type of relationship where you put your emotions into it and they drain you. You are to really have a healthy life and a healthy well-being. Your emotional state of mind should not have so much negativity that it takes all of your energy during the day, that you just have no positivity. You have no strength to just give love and joy to somebody else. That's draining. So you might have to release that or know to accept the fact that it is what it is. We need to figure something out. As you as an individual need to see it for itself as what it is and say, I accept it, but I got to let this go and start to wean yourself out of those type of relationships. It is going to be difficult because that's relationships. If you have a resentment towards somebody or a grudge towards somebody, that's something you're going to have to figure out how to deal with, because you're going to have to forgive yourself, forgive the other person, to let that, baggage go, to release it, because your growth depends on it. Your growth depends on letting the unforgiveness, be truly forgiven. Let it truly be forgiven in your heart and in your mind, that you can let it go in a way where you can continuously move on to the growth that your journey is supposed to head you towards. Like, I feel like emotional baggage is very important for us today because we are emotional people. I have noticed, I'm gonna give an example of myself. For the past weekend, I have had tears come out for the emotions of life that has happened for the past 60 days, 90 days of life. And it hit me hard, but it released all of the burden, all of the exhaustion, all of the pain of what I've heard from other people. I got that emotion of just tears and crying and accepting the fact that it is what it is. And I have to let it go. And we have to let our emotions be what they are, accept it, feel it. I mean, really, you got to feel it. I mean, I feel like if you are ignoring your emotions, that's not helping you. That's not serving you, because our emotions are a signal to our body and to our mind to tell us, hey, something's going on with you. You need to pay attention. Because if you don't pay attention to this emotion, it's going to accumulate to something even greater. And it can be a good emotion, it can be a bad emotion. But when it's a bad emotion, oh, it gets ugly. So taking care of the negative emotions are very important. Guilt and shame of over the past decisions that we've had. I mean, guilt and shame is a big thing. As Christians, we talk a lot about how, I hate to say this, I'm sorry, but I feel like a lot of Christians do a lot of guilt and shame talk, to people. And it can be overwhelming to a soul, a person, to always speak guilt and shame. Everybody knows what their issues are most of the time, right? Most of the time you can deny it, you can lie to yourself, but you really know. You know what your issues are. So for somebody to sit up here and pick at it all the time, that's not helpful. So how do you release those type of people? That can be toxic relationships where you just got to let them go and just say, I'm going to work on myself. But the emotional baggage is something that we have to learn how to I want to look at it as we need to learn how to pay attention to and know how to adjust our mind and not allow ourselves to go downhill into a negative path, because emotions most of the time, look at around the world, we're angry all the time, we're fighting, we're killing, we're talking negative, we're not speaking to encourage another, we are putting each other down, we say things. So how can we grow? How can that serve us? Is that serving us into the path of what is good for us? I mean, it can be, but only for a short period of time. How long can you take all that? Not too long, right? I mean, that's just my opinion, but I don't know for sure. That's just my opinion.
You want to say something, D?
Oh yeah. It's two things actually. I mean, last week, believe it was last week, right when I had my podcast. And I was saying how we all know the signs, we all know the red flags, and you disagree with that shit. It's we all know when somebody's negative or not good for us in our lives. We all know these bad signs. We just choose to push them aside or neglect it or like pretend that it's not there, right? When we was talking about healing and stuff, like we know when we healed as well, right? That's what we was getting at. So as Lady T was speaking, that's what I mean. Like we a lot of times we know when somebody's toxic or somebody's bad for us, but we just continue to stay in that situation, right? And like I said, sometimes it's about the fear of letting go because you might have had a good moment or good times with that person or that but you have to for personal growth, right? And now when she was talking about forgiveness, it's not just for the other person. You have to forgive yourself as well for anything negative thing that has happened, right? And that's how you move forward in life. And that's how, as Lady T put it, that's how you get rid of that emotional baggage, right? You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive the other person. That's how you move forward, and that's how you prosper. That's how you grow. So that's why everything starts with self. We have to self-reflect, figure out what's working, what's not working. And if we have any doubt, then we have to let it go. If we can't be straddled on the fence, right? We can't be like, well, we had good times and we had bad times. Nah, if it's mostly bad, right? Or if that scale is not evenly yoked, and one's outweighing the other, that's the side you got to go with sometimes, right? We have to get rid of that fear in life. Life ain't perfect. Life is hard. If life was easy, we all be doing something else, right? And that's what I like to tell a lot of people. So we can't allow negativity and the wrong people in our lives to consume us anymore. So that's what I
Well,
wanted to add.
okay. I wanted to say is that, as I was listening to both of you, and the most important thing is that I think most people struggle with is the surrenderance part. Like really, like if you can't listen, you may think somebody is negative towards you because of their correction. They're giving the correction because it's from their heart, not because of what they feel. And I think most people struggle with the surrenderance of that. And once you realize, look, healing is accepting that I have an issue. Once you begin to recognize that I have an issue, I want it to be fixed. Guess what? You have to surrender that all. You got to give that to God. And how do we do that? First, if you don't have a relationship with God, that's where you start right there. Learning how to get a relationship. Because I can tell you this, if you have a relationship with God, I promise you this, he will teach you and show you how to have compassion, how to speak to people when they're down and out, not say, well, you shouldn't have did this because you're not saved. You don't know how to do that if you don't understand God. And how do you do that? Having a relationship with God, allowing him to be a mouthpiece. And some people don't understand that. We say we Christians, but guess what? And I used to be like that and judgmental. and say, well, you shouldn't do this because you're not living for God. That's why you go and do those things. No, that's not the case. Guess what? We ask God for forgiveness, and God give us forgiveness, right? But we don't give it to somebody else. And because we oh God, forgive me. And then God gives you that mercy and grace, but you don't do it for the next person. You don't do it to the person that's supposed to get that, who deserve it, because you're not worthy of doing all the things that you've done. And now you in a place where you getting that mercy and that grace, and God is saying, I forgive you, but you're not doing it for somebody else. And so that's where the relationship with you and God has to grow. And I was listening. I didn't watch it, but I was listening to Kirk Franklin at the BET Awards, and he said something, and it resonated with me. Why it resonated with me is because, guess what? We live this life and say we want to be righteous and holy, but then guess what? You got to be open and vulnerable. You have to, because guess what? He said, listen, I ain't perfect, and I'm not perfect. You may look at me and judge me and say, well, you ain't supposed to do that. But guess what? Look at yourself and say, am I doing everything I'm supposed to do? Am I doing everything I'm supposed to do? So no, you can't look at another person and say, you ain't supposed to do this. But guess what? You don't know their struggles. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know how they derive to the destination they're at. You don't know that. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to really look into yourself and say, listen, I want to be better. I want to be the better version of myself. How do you do that? How do we get to that point? I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of, conversations, and some of the stuff that people say out their mouth, I'll be like, not judging. I'll be like, wow, how could you say that? But what about your relationship? How is your relationship? You understand what I'm saying? So how do you add and take away from something that God wants to give you? So same thing, Lady. How do you take away the things that you don't want, but then God said, "Listen, this is what I want for you," but you be like, "Nah, I don't want that right now." How do you do that? How do you navigate that? Like, because sometimes, yeah.
Normally it's forced on me. So there's not a lot. Yeah.
When you say forced, can you explain, elaborate on that?
Yeah. Like, if you put it in a car accident, you didn't expect to be in a car accident when you went out and got in your car. That is something that just happened. And that's what I mean. It's a force. Some things, there's forces out here in this world. We call it negative, demonic. We call it the devil. We call it God. We call it Jesus. We call it spirit. There's forces that are out in the world that are real. And I believe, all right? And I know that they're real. But what I do is I pay attention to the force. And then the force is showing me that it's divine because of the way it unfolds. Then I know it's God. I follow. But when the force is coming to me and it looks murky, and it looks like the water is not really, I pay attention. And I will normally pay attention, and I'll just do what I'm told, but I pay attention and I, walk cautiously, because I in my mind, I'm like, I have my meditation of God, you're walking with me. You know what's going to happen. You know what is best. You know what I'm walking into. So let me address it like this.
Yeah, please.
Individually, I feel like everybody needs to learn how to walk in their mind daily and have a mind to always be about the higher Christ-like behavior. We call it Christ, right? The Christ-like behavior. It is a higher mind than what we look at and we say we want to do for ourself. It is a higher way of thinking that you are not about just yourself. You are about others. And being that way, you have to think in a way where it is a spiritual thing in your mind. Nobody else needs to know. You do not have to broadcast to people what you are thinking. We need to learn how to think in our mind of a higher being that can guide us and direct us in our path in every situation in our mind, without telling everything about your life to other people. There are times when we need to just be still and not say anything. And that's something that we need to do more often, because that's what opens the door to God showing himself. that in that person's life, that's opening their mind to God to say, look, I'm having my peace right now with you. I'm walking with you. So answer me through this prayer. Give me what I ask. Will you listen though? Will you pay attention? Will you be distracted? That is what you need to pay attention to yourself about, because we get distracted all the time. We are always paying attention to other things that we shouldn't be paying attention to, or we're not listening to the still small voice that says, you're supposed to get that. You're supposed to answer that. You're supposed to do that. So we have to learn how to take accountability, is what I'm trying to say. It's like we have to look at ourselves to say, what am I doing that I need to do better? That I need to, look at myself to say, I can do all things in Christ. What can I do better to have that mindset? That's something we need to do daily. But that's, a mind thing. I saw Allison's question. And for me, my answer, I would say, when you she said, how do you walk away when you have poured a lot into something? That's like life. That's everything. That's everything. Our children, that's our jobs. That's our family. We pour ourselves into just about everything. We put our love into everything, right? Most of us do. I'm not going to say everybody, but the good people put your love into so much. You poured yourself into so much. You have to, like you said, Chef, surrender. You have to learn to surrender. You have to let it go and just be like, I was brought to do all this pouring into something, and I did my pouring into so beautifully, and I'm okay with the way it looks. And if you're not okay, say, I forgive myself that I didn't make it look perfect, but I've learned a lot along the journey. And I can sit up here and let it be. That's a surrender. When you let it be, let it sit the way it is, walk away and say, it's going to come back to me better and even more than I can imagine. Your mind has to be expanded to something greater than you can even imagine. We have to get out of the limited mindset, that what I was talking about for myself earlier. We do, all of us, most of us have limited mindsets. And it's because we put ourselves, well, I won't say it. I think the system has brought us into a self of being in scarcity. We live in a world of scarcity. So our mindset is about scarcity. We are about limiting ourselves because we think that there's only a limited amount. That's how we were raised in this system of the world. But we are growing into something else, and the world is changing, and we are able to communicate better like the way we do now. And so words are being said that's triggering into the brain, into the mind, that's saying, that's so true. And then it resonates for many people. And then you're going to see people change. But there's a certain amount of time we're going to see a lot of change. But the point is that we have to change our mind. We have to stop talking so much negatively about our life to everybody else. We do that way too much. We are gossiping about people way too much. We talk bad about situations and people way too much. We do things to ourselves to hurt ourselves and hurt our growth, because we are opening up our mouth when we shouldn't, and we're not thinking the right way.
That's that. Go ahead, D. You want to say something? I know you want to say so. Go ahead.
I mean, listen, I agree. I often tell people, the only person we should be worried about is ourselves, right? We can't mind everybody else's business. And that's what, society in the world, a lot of people go wrong, right? We too caught up with what this person is doing. Like, that's how gossip is formed, right? Just like the whole Diddy thing. People that don't even know Diddy or never even heard of Diddy until the trial. Everybody got something to say. Everybody wants to say he guilty. And, not to get into the Diddy thing, but my thing is, I've been telling people, guilty of what? And a lot of women been attacking me. I'm like, do you know Diddy? Did you go to a Diddy party? Have you ever listened to his music? Everybody got an opinion, and this is something you said earlier too, that that coincide with this, is this, like, a lot of times we don't know what somebody else's story. We might hear one little inkling of something that somebody said, and a lot of times people run with it, which is not fair. People can get arrested for something. You don't know their story. You don't know what took place, if it's a lie or not. But right away, just because it's in the tabloids, it's in the news, it's in the newspaper, people say this person is guilty. This person is that. And that becomes gossip. And these same people that like to gossip about these things, they say, I don't do the gossip, and I call bullshit every time. Just like people say, they don't like drama. Bullshit. Everybody in America loves drama, right? Because if we didn't like drama, we wouldn't listen to the music we do. We wouldn't watch these movies and TV shows that we do. We watch it because it's dramatized and it's entertaining. We just don't like when we're the center of drama, right? So at the end of the day, we got to focus on ourselves. And that's how we truly prosper in life and grow, right? I've made a tremendous turnaround in my life by accepting things for what it is, letting people go, right? Am I exactly where I need to be? Absolutely not. But I've made peace with myself that certain people are just not going to be there for me, right? So that's, in my opinion, that's what made me stronger. Acknowledging this and accepting this and being strong within myself and putting my best foot forward and knowing where I want to go, right? It's not about a destination, right? It's about progression, right? Because once you talk about a destination, that now you're talking about getting from A to B. So after B, there's no more for you. So that's why I say it's about progression and not a destination. You know what I'm saying? So I don't worry about other people. Like when people tell me, "Oh, did you hear such and such?" I'm like, "Why does it matter? Oh, what does that got to do to you or for you? Like, how does that bring value to your life?" I don't get caught up in that. Now, when I talk about certain things, sure, but I don't go out my way and be like, "Oh my God, this was on the news. Did you hear that?" Or this person, remember went to school. This motherfucker in jail. He guilty as I don't know his story. So I'm not a person to do that. So I like that she brought that up.
Well, I wanted to say, that's key right there. What you said. Look, sometimes that right there is real toxic. When you just got somebody talk, like I tell people, and then I hear you talking about somebody, I say, listen, look, I really don't tell me. You know why? Because I don't want to be in the middle of something. Somebody else says something, and they say, well, I told Dennis. No, you ain't tell me nothing because I don't want to know. Don't tell me because I don't want to be a person. I'm not going to lie. I don't practice in that. So that's why sometimes I tell them, I say, look, just don't tell me. Because I'm human. I make mistakes. I might tell somebody else, and then guess what? Now they say, well, I heard this from such and such. Nah, I don't do all that. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about toxicity, and that's the thing, man. You got to really know. You got to get to, Desmond, you said this earlier. It start with you first. That's where it starts at. It starts with you getting yourself right. Like I always say this. If you need healing, right? If you broken, how can you indulge in loving on somebody else and you broken? You got to fix yourself first. You got to be encouraging. You have to get the encouraging so you can stand up on your own two legs, and then you could spread your wings. But if you got a broken wing, you can't fly. You have two wings. You have to learn how to fix that wing first, right? It's got to heal first. And when it heals, then you'll be able to fly. But if you broken, you can't bring somebody else along and say, well, I'm broken. Hey. So yeah, go ahead.
Now, listen, I halfway agree with that. Listen, you because you said if you're broken, you can't love. If you broken, you can't love.
That's not what I said. Did I say that, ladies?
Throw the flag in. The replay. We want to see the replay. I said, you said if you're broken, you can't love.
I said you cannot love somebody else because you broken. You got to be fixed.
Okay. Even if you said that, even if that's the case, that's to me that's false as well. You can now if you want to say love fully, then I can ride with that. If you say love fully, right? Just like you say you got one wing, you can't fly.
No,
you can somewhat fly. Hold on,
you ever see the bird?
No. You can't soar, but they come off the ground. They be up and off the ground. They can't fly fully. That's what I'm getting at.
They ain't going nowhere,
but they can fly. They can fly. So it's like, but you want to say healing? Yes, you need to heal, right? You definitely need that healing. You can love, but maybe not love fully when you're broken.
All right. So since you said it like that, Dave, so I'll break it down for you a little bit more. All right, because maybe that was too much. That was too deep.
There you go.
No. Listen. No. Check this out. You said they could fly a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
If their wing is messed up, right? They fly a little bit, right? Can they get away? Can they escape when it's really danger? No, they can't.
That's not what you said though.
No. But you said they could fly. So let's elaborate on the flying. They can't go nowhere. They stuck. So guess what? If one bird has children, they can't escape. what they're gonna do is they're gonna protect them, but they can't go nowhere. And that's so that's my thing. You can't really do anything. You stuck yourself, so you need to be fixed and healed. So you gotta heal that. And so what you know what when animals get hurt, what they do? They go in hiding. We're gonna they go in hiding. They don't stay out there open because you know they vulnerable. And so when you broken, you're vulnerable. You're vulnerable to some things to come in and mess you up even more. And so the vulnerability, when you injured, you're going to be vulnerable. And vulnerable doesn't mean just saying that, you know what, I'm going to get into a relationship. You still going to be vulnerable because you're not completely healed. You're still vulnerable. You could be, listen, yeah, come on, talk to me.
Listen,
you can join in anytime. Go ahead.
I like to educate. Listen,
educate.
Vulnerability is a natural state of being, right? So if you say as a man or as an individual you're not vulnerable, something's not wrong. I mean, something's wrong with that picture. We're all vulnerable, and if you sit there and say you're not vulnerable, you're in denial.
No,
you're vulnerable to some capacity.
Wait, let's
men, women, kids, doesn't matter.
When I listen, my vulnerability, right, is only going to be accessible to certain people. I'm not going to be vulnerable to everybody. You see what I'm saying? That's a difference. I'm not going to be vulnerable to everybody. I have to be vulnerable to certain people because guess what? When I open up, I'm opening up my heart. Guess what? I expect them not to break it because I'm vulnerable. I'm showing them that, listen, I too went through this. So now I'm vulnerable because I'm sharing something with people that I know they're going to use it and not misuse it. And so that's where my vulnerability come in. But I'm not being vulnerable to just everybody because then that's a sign of weakness. Because I get up somewhere, I might be somewhere and I just start crying. They be like, what's wrong with this guy? They don't even know, but I'm not crying around the certain people, a crowd of people that I know that they're going to pour into, they're going to caress me. They're going to say, oh, you okay, D? You all right, chef? Come on, what's going on? They're going to be talking to me, not to be nosy in my business. They're going to be there to encourage me. They're going to be uplifting me, saying, oh, it's all right. They're going to be saying things that's going to change my mind, change how I feel, my emotions right at that moment. But just going out in public to start crying all over the place, nah, that's not I can't be vulnerable like that. I'm being vulnerable with you guys right now, sharing the things that I share. That's being vulnerable.
But why do we cry, right? Because it's an emotional. It's something. So nobody cry because they want to cry, right? So you know, I had to break this down for you. The definition of vulnerability, of being vulnerable, right? It's a person in need of special care, support, or protection because of age, disability, or risk of abuse or neglect, right? Okay. Like, so at the end of the day, you can try to mask it and hide it.
That's only one definition.
It's not about being vulnerable about certain people. Vulnerability is a natural state of human civilization. So you can sit here and try not to show it in front of certain people, but like everybody's vulnerable.
Oh, all right.
We all got feelings. Hold on, we all have feelings, and it's certain sayings like it's a bigger fish in the pond. It's always somebody that can bring that vulnerability out of you. So to sit there and say you're not vulnerable around certain people, I think that's crazy.
Okay, D. So check us out. You're in an atmosphere where it's hostile. You're not going to show vulnerability. That I'm weak. I'm the weakest link in the whole crowd. No, you're not gonna do that.
Not consciously.
What you mean not consciously? No, you're not doing that. You listen. Somebody come in with hostility. You and in a room. Your defense system is gonna go up if that's what you made up. You're gonna be defensive. Right. You're gonna be like, hold up, wait a minute.
But everybody that's vulnerable. They don't sit there and say, oh, I want to show my vulnerability. No, nobody wants to be vulnerable. It's a natural state of human civilization. It's just one of those things. It just comes with life.
Lady,
nobody, even women don't want to show vulnerability. Lady, say, you want to show your vulnerability, or does it just come out?
It does come out. I agree with Desmond. I do agree. Just because it comes out sometimes when you least expect it. Like sometimes you never expect it to come out to the people that it comes out to. Like,
Lady, can you give us an example, please? Because I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've been vulnerable to individuals that I was like, I had to apologize because I never thought I would open up to them and express myself. So the vulnerability, because they never expected me to be so vulnerable with them because I've never had that relationship with them. So that's an example because I was like, I can't believe this happened. happened. I've opened up to you, but this is the truth, and here it is. You were supposed to get it. And so that's how I feel like most of the time for me, it's a force. It's like, I feel a force of energy flowing out of my mouth sometimes that just does not allow me to just be strong. I have that vulnerability of just blurting it out. And if I get into tears, it'll come out. Or if I get into a rage, it'll come out. But it's still vulnerability. And to a person that never expected it from me, they were like, oh, girl, what's going on? Or whatever. But the point is, it was forced on me. I felt like I never thought that I would talk to them and say the things I did, but it was forced. It was like,
wait a minute, let me ask you a question. The person that you was vulnerable to, right? Did you know them?
I mean, I know them, but didn't know them like I'm friends with them. Like I didn't have.
You
I mean, I have acquaintance, like
there you go.
But that's not a person I wanted to tell my vulnerabilities to. You know what I mean?
If you work with them, if you have, let's say you have with some, I don't know.
You say you're not vulnerable around everybody. See, now
I'm not.
What you're doing right now is backpedaling, and when people backpedaling, that's that defense mechanism that you was talking about, right? You're back against the ropes because now you trying to do the ollie. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what to do.
No.
You wait for the right shot. Hold up. I'm gonna hit you with a kill shot. Now I'm glad you're saying you're not gonna show vulnerability if you're in a hostile situation.
Yeah.
Say if you're with your kids, your wife, and you're in the room. Say if you was in a bank trying to make a withdrawal. And they come in and rob the bank. That's a hostile situation, a hostile environment, right?
Yeah.
And they come in there and you trying to be all macho, like you tough. When they threaten to kill one of your kids or your wife, guess what? That vulnerability gonna come out of you.
Vulnerability? Man, what's wrong with you, bro? You know what's gonna come out of me? You know what's gonna come out with me? And every man that's gonna protect their kids, I'm going to go in defense mode. I'm going to protect mine, period. I'm not going to act a fool, but guess what? I would rather them do something to me before they do to my kids. Guess what? They do me. Now, I can't be there, but as long as I protect it, I'm protecting them. I'm not going to be vulnerable. I'm going to protect them.
That is
guess
vulnerable.
What? I'm going
your emotions is coming out now. That's being vulnerable.
Going to protect. That's not vulnerable.
Go ahead, ladies. Thank you. Yes, it is.
What was the definition? Read it one more time.
Read multiple. Vulnerable. It's a definition for different levels of vulnerability. It's different levels. It's not just one, because I told them read more. And I guarantee you, it depends on how you put it in a sentence. It depends on how you break it down. Because vulnerability is you can put it in a sentence where it means something totally different. But I would love Desmond Black to read multiple definitions, and we gonna punch them in right where they fit in. Let's go, my brother. Let's go.
Listen, the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally.
Go ahead.
Okay, attacked or harmed. That's a vulnerability. What we were giving an example about. You had a situation where somebody's coming at your children, your wife, and that is where you are vulnerable. You're being attacked.
Read that again. Read it again, Desmond. Read it again.
It says the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally.
Now, listen to what it like. When you have to read it, you have to understand it. Being exposed,
right?
Listen to it. I just told you. Listen,
the scenario was robbing the bank, right?
I'm going to
scenario.
So I'm going to protect. Period.
So that is still what the definition is. You are being exposed to be vulnerable. That's what the definition is saying, because you are exposed to harm and danger. That's what it said, Chef.
Hey. Listen, you outnumbered. You can't do this week in and week out. Hold on, bro. You can't do this week in and week out.
But I want to ask you something.
Do this. Listen, you cannot do this week in and week out.
Hey,
what happened? For months, hold on, Chef. Wait a minute. For months, you've been saying you've been working on it, and I've been saying I cannot tell. You have to open your mind a little bit. You have to you soon as Lady T speak, you on attack mode already. When I speak, you on attack mode. You so quick to speak and not listen. You have to practice active listening to be a good speaker. And when you're on this platform on the podcast, you have to be a good speaker, right? So you have to actively listen, absorb. You understand? Absorb. Do this with me. What everybody's saying to you, so you can convey your messages clearly.
Now, excuse
Thank
me,
you.
sir. Now, in order for you to listen, for you to understand what vulnerability means, first of all, you have to be vulnerable yourself. That's
I
number
am
one.
vulnerable.
No,
I
you're
am
not.
vulnerable.
I'm gonna
I
correct
am.
you. You're
I
not.
am.
You're
Huh.
not. You know why? Because guess what? Listen, I don't go into a group's ministry and not allow myself to be open. I have to be vulnerable to the men that I don't know, because you know why? We're in the place so we can grow, first of all. And second of all, listen, I don't go into a place where I don't know people and just open up my mouth and say who I am, what I do, where I live, because that's opening up for vulnerability. So guess what? I have to go into a place, I have to read the room and make sure that before I say things out of my mouth, I got to make sure it's a place where I can do that. And that's what I'm saying to you. That's what you got to do. So you got to understand that you can put vulnerability in so many different ways. Listen, you got to know, you have to know where your strength and your weaknesses are. And being vulnerable to certain people, guess what? You open up to be played, tricked, manipulated. That's what you're doing when you just go and do that to some people you really don't know and you're not reading the room. That's the biggest thing you got to understand. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You love, right?
Yep.
Anybody that loves is vulnerable. Yeah, you cannot love without opening up yourself.
Why are you not listening?
Why you not listening?
Why are you not listening?
2 against 1. It's
no,
2 against 1.
You just said if I love, I'm vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Now I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say it slow for you so you can understand.
See what you're doing right now?
I love.
You see what you're doing? What you're doing right now is
no, you gotta listen.
What you're doing right now is sinful.
Look, you just defending what I'm saying. You trying to defend it. What I'm saying to you is that guess what? My love supposed to be going to everybody, right? I'm supposed to show love to everybody. That's number one, right? But guess what? The extensive love that I give to my wife and my kids and my family, everybody don't get that. Everybody don't get that.
That's not what we're talking about.
So I'm not vulnerable to everybody. I'm not vulnerable to everybody.
Hey, you love yourself, right?
Yes.
So to love is to be vulnerable.
Listen,
your feelings and emotions is always going to be open.
I'm going to tell you
to be attacked.
I can't say it for you, and there are other people that listen. For me, I should say it like that so you can understand it better. For me, I'm not vulnerable to everybody. I'm gonna tell you like that. I'm not. You can say I'm not, because I'm strong enough to know when I'm vulnerable to certain people. When I allow me to be vulnerable, I'm not being vulnerable to everybody.
You're limiting yourself.
No, I'm not.
Open your mind a little bit more,
so you can
develop more. So you can develop more.
You're
stagnant.
Okay.
You're stagnant.
Boy,
you're stagnant.
Listen,
you're stagnant.
And guess what?
You capped out already. It's what you're telling me. You capped out because what you're doing right now is sinful.
I don't cry in front of everybody.
Hey, are you a bully? Because I already know his answer.
I don't cry in front of everybody.
Are you a bully?
No, I'm bully to you. Yeah.
No, you ain't no bully to me because I'm too strong to allow that. You crazy.
I'm a bully to you.
You have bully characteristics.
I'm a bully to you.
You sit there and says, "Let me speak slowly so you can understand." Right?
Yeah, because I don't think you understood.
That's no. The way you come at people, that's not godly.
That's you.
What you want to talk about from the battle to the glory?
I gotta be real with you.
You have not seen the glory because you're still battling with yourself. To talk to somebody like that, to talk to somebody like that, you're still in conflict. You at war with yourself. You need to come out of that and find peace. Okay, never.
Yes.
Never. I don't talk to people like that. So that's what you need to do. Surrender. To who?
I missed this. You too.
Surrender to God.
And that's what it's supposed to be. But I'm trying to help this brother.
Surrender.
Unto him. But before I got on here now, I forgot the other woman that was on here. You can tell, you told reading the room. You can't tell when Lady T had enough of your shit. You can't tell when somebody else had enough of your shit. They get on here like this. And you be like, Lady T, go. You like, nah, I'm trying to bite my tongue like, come on. Read the room. That's what you said. Read the room.
All right,
Listen
so
more.
let me break something down for you.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Go ahead.
All right. First of all, listen. Do you have how can I say this? Any more male role models?
Male role models.
Yes.
I like to say no.
Wait,
Because
okay.
my answer's gonna be no.
Now, Lady T, do you have any female role models?
No.
So what? So you guys are just living life, no blueprint to no direction.
That's not that.
These
Don't say it
analogies,
like that.
these analogies don't make sense.
Yeah.
But go ahead, finish.
So how do you recognize when you're not supposed to do something that's not in your character? How do you do that?
Ask it again. Ask it again.
When you don't have no direction, right? And you making a mistake, how do you get that fixed? How do you have direction to get it fixed? Where you get your direction from?
Self. Everything starts with self. We talked about this. Yes.
When
It's a
doing
lot of
something
responsibility.
wrong, okay.
No, to have a role model, right? It's a lot of
Mhm.
responsibility come with it. If somebody don't check off those boxes, guess what? You can't call that person a role model. That's
Okay,
why I said I'm gonna say no.
Okay, so now I'm asking you, when you doing
Hold
something
on. Just
ask
1
the
second.
question.
So, my apologies. 1 second. Just like when people talk about godparent. Nowadays, that godparent thing is just thrown around too loosely, right? It's a lot of responsibility that comes with godparent. Godparent is supposed to be in the absence of your biological. You assume that responsibility of father or mother figure, right? Nowadays, people are like, "Oh, I fuck with you," so boom, you got the title. And you know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, people ain't going to doing it in the hospital because that's the proper way to do it. So when we talk about role models, if you don't check off the boxes, if you're not going to stand on business until what does it
say? What? No way, Nick! Stop playing with me.
Congratulations.
He said,
Thailand.
"I'm letting go. I'm leaving the country, moving to Thailand." Come on, bro. Oh no.
Love Thailand.
Go ahead, D.
Oh, you been to Thailand?
No, I want to go though.
Oh.
My daughter did.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. So like basically, what I'm saying is, a role model is a male figure. That's a leader, right? So to not have a role model don't mean you don't have direction.
Right.
I'm your favorite role model's role model.
Hey,
put it that way.
Didn't you hear? I just told you. See, that's why the men have struggles, because what you just said. Some don't have that. They need that. They need it.
Right. Okay. Now I can
get
behind
that.
The
ones that don't have role models struggle. They have struggles because guess what? They can't navigate what's going on in their life. Why it's going on? Because they don't have that. They don't have a person that they could open up to, be vulnerable to, and say, "Look, man, listen, let's walk through. Let's do this together." Guess what? Because they don't have that. Guess what? They lack somewhere. I don't know where it is, but that's true. Because guess what? Listen, if you don't think what I'm saying is factual, women do it all the time. Guess what? They get together, don't even know the woman they just met, and they start to talk. They start to connect.
But that's not a role model.
No, listen to what I said.
Okay.
You don't have none, right? I'm just showing you how women do. They don't have to do that, because guess what? When they get together, they start conversating, they start talking, and their natural bond. They start bonding. Men don't do that, and so what I'm saying, I actually
why don't they? Why don't they?
I just asked you.
I'm not understanding.
Wait a minute.
Women do it. Men do it too.
Proof in the pudding. I just asked you earlier, and this ain't no shun on you. I just asked you earlier, do you have any role models? You said no.
And I just told you, just because women do that doesn't mean they role models.
And that, and listen, The reason why you don't have role models, that's all. That's all because of you, not me. It's you. That's you.
Let me say this. I think Desmond has role models. I have role models. They're all in our lives. Like Desmond, people in his life.
He say he don't have none.
Let me just say this. The people in your life, Desmond, are your role models. The people in my life are my role models. We are all like a role model to one another. We're teaching each other something, you know?
Hold on.
I'm his role model. I'm his role model.
No, you're not. No. So
I'm his role model. Trust me when I tell you. He in denial.
A role model is somebody you look to for an example.
He's in denial.
Yeah, it is what that is. But you know, but when I say we have people in our lives as a role model, they can make bad decisions and good decisions, and we still look to them as an example. So that's why, I mean, everybody in our life is a role model, really.
I'm your role model, brother.
We have to see it for what it is, if the example's good or bad for us. That's all I'm saying.
Since Chef like to play on words, let me tell you something. I
don't have your role model. Don't forget it.
Look, a role is something we play, and I don't play with my life. Huh? So I'm a real model, if you want to put it that way, huh? When you role play, you're playing, right?
Right.
And a role in a movie is something you play. You play out a character. So since you want to play on words, no role model.
I'm your role model. Don't forget it.
There's no role models for him.
If that's going to help you sleep at night.
Hey, listen, I know deep down inside. Listen, that's what brothers do, baby. Let me see. Somebody wrote something. Let me see. Jump. Y'all connect.
Yeah, someone's role model. Someone's role model. It's not my role model. I don't look to that person or this group of people as an example. I look at myself as an example because I know where I've come from. I know where I'm at, and I know where I want to be. 9 times out of 10, when I go out and I want to pour my heart out or I want to vent to somebody, most people, they pretend to hear. And then, like, let's say this is the third time you're saying the same thing. When they be like, "Oh, bro, hit me later when you ain't when you ain't stressing," or whatever the case may be. Those ain't role models. I look to myself because I know where I came from, I know where I'm at, and I know where I want to be. Now, I got a couple people recently in my life that no matter what, they've been there. Even when I sit there, even when I sit there and say, "Nah, you don't want to hear this shit," I'm like, "No, go ahead. The floor is yours." You know what I'm saying? And until they prove me otherwise, I say, "Hey, you're a real one."
Okay.
But that's something that's got to be earned.
That's a role.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, my role models is my role model. See, I'm gonna show you how the difference is. Role models. Okay. I got my father, my grandparents. My grandfather, he passed. You know what I'm saying? My uncles, role models. I see them because guess what? They longevity in marriage. They've been through stuff. I seen them go. Family oriented, good jobs, worked hard, hustle and bustle. So that's all I know. Look, that's all I know. That's because what I saw. So I look up to them because guess what? They didn't show me a perfect life. They showed me how to endure, how to go through it and still excel. And so those role models, and then not even that, my grandfather was my pastor at the time when he was living, right? My dad, you know what I'm saying? Seeing him go through stuff, even though the tough times, but guess what? At the end of the day, I seen how hard he worked, and look how hard I worked. You know what I'm saying? I had to endure a lot because I saw him do it. You know what I'm saying? So I did it. You know what I mean? My grandfather, they used to work in a slaughterhouse, killing cows. You know what I'm saying? I seen him get in there, get it early in the morning, come home, dinner make. I seen all that, and so that's how I have this perception, this vision of how it's supposed to be, and that's not to say that my blueprint is everybody else's blueprint. Nah, I'm just here to help you steer the way. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I mean? So when I say, I used to think that Michael Jordan was my role model. No, Michael Jordan wasn't my role model because I didn't want to be like Michael Jordan. But guess what? All I knew is basketball at that particular time. So I looked at it and I said, I thought about the money, but at the end of the day, once I learned who he really was, his character, what he stood for, so that's not what I really wanted. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying me. I can't talk about somebody else. My role model perspective changed as I got older. You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron. LeBron ain't I'm older than LeBron. LeBron ain't my role model, but I like his character. I like his integrity. You know what I'm saying? Even though in the midst they trying to put him in the mix with P. Diddy and all that stuff. But I like his how he do things, how he carry himself, and he's in the spotlight, but he stand for something.
So, bro, you give me a headache sometimes.
Yeah,
just
because
because
you
you're
don't want to
older.
listen.
No.
Rejection.
All right, you know what? Never mind. Lady C, let me
rejection. Rejection.
Because I got to look at over here, you know, because I can't look at that right now.
Yeah, you don't want to.
He told he can't be my role model because I'm older than him. So let me ask you something, Lady C. You don't think you can have a younger role model?
Of course.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking because the way he be coming off, I don't understand
Jesus Christ.
I don't understand it. And then what, Lady C, again, another question. When we talk about role models, right? Should there be more than one characteristic that person exhibits for us to call him a role model? Right. I don't agree with picking one thing and saying, hey, my role model because of that. Like, right. I think that's outlandish.
I showed you multiple role models. What are you talking about?
No. And that's what I'm getting at. But you was like, oh, longevity in marriage. Now, they wasn't. But they're my role models because of longevity in marriage.
That was one example I was giving you. I said longevity. But then when you said how they work hard.
Mm-hmm. But you was talking about multiple people, right? Yeah. And you was like, oh, that's person my role model because of this. It should be more than one thing that they exhibit to make us say, yeah, that's my role model.
Listen to what I said. All the people that I mentioned, they have exhibited everything that I said. Marriage, job, working hard, longevity, you know what I'm saying? How their character, how they carry themselves, how they live in this life and live in this world, how they transition to something greater and not stayed at the same place. All of them, every man that I mentioned, that's how they were. They didn't stay at the same place. They moved up the ladder. They elevated in the time that they was living in. Let me see. Oh,
yeah, go ahead and put that up there. Yeah. What's up, Larry, man? I'm gonna hit you up later, man.
Role models, whether good or bad, sharp and shit.
Yep, I agree.
There you go. Yeah. See, I like that. See, shape and mold you, admire them. That's it. Yeah, come on, talk to me. That's what I'm talking about, Larry. Yes, those men that I mentioned, they shaped and mold me.
That's whether good or bad.
That's what I said. It was good times and bad times.
I used to think Michael Jordan, but when I started learning about his character, which he don't even know.
So what about his character?
But what he just said, you can't agree to what he just said. Now you gotta come on.
Michael Jordan, his character and how he just is all about winning and his basketball career and everything. He's living his life. But far as him standing for something, no, he did not. He just stood. He played basketball. That's it. That's just me. Everybody got different. I'm telling you, me. I can't talk about who your admiration and who you looked up. That was me when I was a kid. I said when I became grown, I looked at him totally different. I didn't say nothing negative about Michael Jordan. I'm not. I'm saying way I looked at him now, and when I was a kid, I look at him differently. I'm older now. I see my perception is totally different. How I view is different. My lens, I don't wear the same lens I wore when I was a child. I got a different lens now. I look from a different perspective. So come on, talk to me, man. I know. See, look.
You too.
I know. Hey, by the way, guys, this is Brother Love.
I'm being nice. I said
you're doing really good.
Yeah,
I'm being nice.
Yes, I see progress in both of you.
All right. Hey, T, can you please give him a round of applause, please? Thank you.
Oh, wow. You jumped on that bandwagon.
You're different. That's all. It's nothing wrong. You're definitely different. There's growth in you right now.
That's unbelievable.
See? But hey, look, we telling you, brother. Come on, man. Come on, reel you in, baby. Come on. Yes. Smile. Let me see them teeth. There you go.
Close his mouth.
Hey, see, that's the energy there we go. See, I don't care who you are. Hey, that's what I do, man. I ain't no clown. I said I want to see.
You are. That's why I'm laughing because you're a clown, bro.
No, because that's what I do.
Yo, the clown from the Apollo with the broomstick. That's what I see right now. That's crazy, bro.
I like the way you do business.
You ain't got no choice but accept how I do business.
But hey now, what? Listen,
I'm your role model,
boy.
Yeah, boy. Shit. That's my hey, Lacey. He the older brother, but that's my son at the same time.
Hey, listen, y'all. See, Lord Jesus. That's why you gotta be, huh? Oh shoot! Now watch out now. Watch out now, Lady T.
This guy.
But no, look. But all jokes aside, though, seriously, like that. And so we talk, we laugh. Somebody needs some. Oh man! Oh Lord!
Change that.
Wait a minute! Hold up! Watch out now!
The Raiders.
Change that hat to nah, never. Bang bang 90 game, baby. Yes.
It ain't that either.
What is it?
Repeat.
Oh Lord, he talking about the Eagles. Stop.
Yeah, repeat.
Stop. He talking about the Eagles. The Eagles ain't doing nothing.
Repeat.
But
repeat. You said that last year.
Okay.
Repeat.
Listen, but all jokes aside, though, look, that's the most important thing. You know, we got Lady T here. We got the host of Sipping and Tripping podcast, and that's what we do. We want to encourage you. We want to uplift you. And at the end of the day, it's not going to always you're going to see eye to eye with somebody. But at the end of the day, everybody's opinion is valued and, valued. You know what I'm saying? That's the key. That's the key. And I tell people when I'm talking to different people is that, we're transparent here. Sometimes we do some laughter. We had one guest that come on here and cry and it was good. It was healthy. You know what I'm saying? It was therapeutic. And that's sometimes we want to get to that place where we can open uply, show people that you can show your true colors, but have a conversation where we can understand one another. Hold on. Let me put up what he said. God bless you guys for helping people. Much love. No doubt, man. I really appreciate you stopping by and coming and talking with us and, just making comments and stuff like that. That's important. Hopefully, listen, I got some guests coming up, man. Listen, they coming out their shell. I can't wait to see them because they have a great story. But not only story, it's other people that need to hear, their testimonies, what they go through, what they struggle with. And that's what it's about. It's about not prying into your life, but I always say this to people is that if you got something inside, talking about it is releasing it. How do you get it out? How do the unforgiveness, how do you get it out? If you got something that you ain't forgave somebody about, you got to talk about it. Like you can't stand somebody, you hate somebody. Well, if some people say don't say that word hate, but if you hate somebody, you can't stand them. How do you get that feeling out? How do you change how you feel about that person or toward that person? You got to talk about it. Find the right people to talk about it. What you think about that? You looking like you lost.
No. You said how do you get that out? I don't feel like I feel like you just don't feed it. It's how you get rid of it. I think the longer you continue to talk about somebody that you say you hate, it's only gonna make you hate them even more, right? Like talking about it is not gonna get it out. The only thing is you just bringing it out there. No, you just bringing it out there into the universe, right? You're bringing it from inside outwardly, but you're still dealing with it mentally. You're not letting it go though. The more you talk about it, the more you're gonna have a hatred for that person. So the way you get rid of that is to not allow that person to live rent free. Right? Don't give that person no thought. Is how you get rid of that. You have to work on self and say, you know what? Are you froze or are you there?
I'm there.
Oh, okay. No, he was stuck. But you have to stop dwelling on certain things or people. That's how you get rid of that. Talking about it is just only make you hate that person even more. Especially if the person that agree with you, the person like, I know that motherfucker fucked up. And I know, fuck that. It's going to make you hate that person more. You have to stop talking about certain things or certain people. Go ahead. What's that look for?
Go ahead, man.
I agree with you, though. I do agree. It is what we talk about. If you want to, badmouth people all the time, it's not helpful. So I agree.
So, Mr. Black, can we talk about your growth? Let's talk about your growth.
Okay, we can do that.
No,
I'm down for whatever, bro.
Listen. Let's talk about growth.
As it pertains to me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so how far you want me to go back? Because it's a progression every day for me, baby.
All right, well, don't say it to me. Say it to Lady T. I just want to hear your
Yeah.
growth.
I'm just saying, it's a. That's what I'm asking you since you asked the question. Like, how far back do you want me to go? Because
Let's just
every
say
day I
this
look at it
year.
as a progression.
This
The
year.
year?
Yeah.
Okay. Like let's see, so about growth. Like, not feeding into arguments and shit. It's growth for me. It's a continual progression, right? Because I once, you brought negativity to me, I used to bring it right back to you. You throw it at me, we was playing catch. You throw it at me, I'm gonna throw it back. But now it's like, people, places, and things shape us and mold us who we are, right? Like, it's pointless to getting fired from a job because you wouldn't have an attitude, or getting arrested. And I'm not saying me, I'm just saying in general. Or, getting locked up because you felt like you had something to prove. And then all the people that you thought that was in your circles looking at you was like, oh, you a problem. You always getting in trouble. Right. So for growth for me is just recognizing the signs. If I feel like it's out of my control and I feel like it's nothing I can do or say that's going to fix the situation, just remove myself from that situation. And it's a lot of times, do I feel like I'm suffering? Yes, because it's like, damn, do I really want to be around people sometimes? Yeah, but growth for me is being in that space of just being by myself, right? And that's something that I'm working on, because I hate it, going out to eat by myself. It's so super weird for me, but I do it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's better. And I've been complaining to people, I'm like, oh, I'm out here by myself, blah, blah. And people are like, oh, embrace that, enjoy that, because now you ain't got to worry about if somebody say something that's going to get under your skin, or start an argument or be toxic. Now you're in your own space. You get to gather your thoughts. You get to focus on your day. You get to focus on what your plan is for the day. And I try to apply that, and that's what I've been doing. Like I said, it's weird, but that's growth for me. That's one example. That's growth.
Hold on.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, listen.
Oh, hey, don't respond. Don't respond, D. Don't respond. Don't respond. We go to the next thing.
First of all, I know. I mean, he can hit me up later about that because, yeah. Anyhow.
Hey, yo, hold on. Hey, look, listen. So, Lady T, go ahead. You got something you want to add or question?
No. That last comment made me laugh. So,
so look, so on a scale of 1 to 10, D, when someone make you upset, right? How quickly do you get upset? How quickly?
What do you mean?
When someone gets you upset, how quickly, on a scale of 1 through 10, 10 being the highest, of course, how quickly do you get mad when somebody's trying to get you upset? They do something that upsets you. So,
well, you can't. Okay. First of all, I feel like you asked me a question trying to set me up here. That's number one. Number two, you can't ask that question. Hold on. You can't ask that question. I don't feel like, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because, like I said, you try to bait me right now. But
hey, yo, hold on.
For the most part, it depends on. Listen, without putting too much out there, because all right, you know what? Fuck it, I'm just gonna answer the question, and then I know you're gonna do the heckle and all that dumb shit.
All I ask you from 1 through 10. That's all I ask you. If somebody make you upset, 1 through 10, 10 being the highest, how quickly can you get upset? That's it. Ain't no, you don't gotta tell about nothing.
Can I do it?
Yeah.
How quickly do I get upset?
No, do you? Not can you? Do you?
I'm gonna say a 4. Yeah, see what I'm saying, Lacey? See what I said. He tried to bait me because he's a sucker.
No, see, look, listen. Look.
First of all, listen.
Hey,
having fun right now. Having fun right now. Larry's having fun right now. You know what I'm saying?
Larry is having fun right now,
right?
And that's cool.
All right, so D, so you say you get mad at a 4. That's how quick you get mad, huh? Okay.
Yeah, look at him, Lacey. Look at him.
That's your answer.
Yeah.
Lady T, you got what you want to say?
What would you say his answer is?
I can't. That's why I asked him.
Yeah. No, he won't. Maybe not online, but he'll give his opinion off camera.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I get
it. And we could definitely do that because I'm not going to disclose a whole bunch of shit for the world.
There you go.
That's what I said.
Oh.
And that's what I said. That's why I said he tried to make me.
Calm down.
No. I am calm. This is me calm. You know this is me calm. Yeah.
You too, boy. I missed this.
Why you miss it? Because you laughing. That's why you miss it.
Yes,
Lord have mercy, man.
Desmond hasn't been on here in a long time.
Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, you know, it's conversation we had. But let me get back on track. I was talking to this young lady, man, and seriously,
look at his face and his eyes. Huh? No, I was looking at Larry.
Oh, I'm gonna get
this is called growth, Larry. It's called growth. I know how to keep shit in check, Larry.
Listen, I was talking to this young lady, right? And our conversation was kind of deep. And just sometimes people go through stuff and they don't know how to express themselves. And that's key, man. Learning how to express yourself. But I always say, learn how to express yourself to the right people, man. You can't expose certain things to certain people. You can't. You got to learn how to do that. You know, and we talk about, we laugh and we giggle, we joke, but about being vulnerable, that's important, man. You gotta listen. And I always say this, and Roddy always get on my case about it, but it's true. Discernment, man. You got to learn how to discern who you could talk to, who you can confide in, bro. Because guess what? Some people have hidden agendas, and when they have hidden agendas, you can't see that naturally. And so that's why it's important to have a spiritual understanding, man. You can't understand people by just looking at them naturally. And so you got to understand the spiritual aspect of that individual. Got to get to know them, got to get in tune with them. That's why in the Bible is always talk about so many analogies talking about evenly yoked. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to understand that individual, because when they're going through something, you got to be able to talk with them. And sometimes a lending ear is more important than what you say out your mouth. Just listening to sometimes. Listen to that person, because they might be talking and they might say something, and then you'll say the right words, the right thing that they need to hear. Not what they want to hear, what they need to hear. And so sometimes you got to listen to that person and not just talk with them. And sometimes when people call me, I just listen sometimes, even though I don't want to listen, because I'm being honest. Sometimes I'd be like, okay, I tell you what to do and you don't listen. So what good is it? You know what I mean? So sometimes you just got to listen. And then I always ask them, do you want me to tell you? You want me to give you some advice, or you just want me to listen? Because I could just do that. And I ain't listen to no complainer though. I can tell you that right now. I'm sorry. That's not my card. That's not my calling to listen to a complainer. I'm just being honest and transparent. I'm not a type of person to listen to you complain. So that's just me. Lady T?
No, they don't normally. They come to me to complain, and then I, give them something, and then they stop complaining. So, complaints are going to come. People are going to say whatever they feel. They're going to say how they express themselves, and the complaints are going to be there. So I accept it. Oh, you're different than me, of course.
I am.
Hey, Lady T. So when people vent, is that not a form of complaining?
Yeah, it's a form of expressing themselves.
So we shun the people that needs to get that off their chest?
No.
I mean, but you just say you did. You say you're not the person that listened to that.
Complaining.
So what? Yes, complaining. And let's rewind. Throw the flag in it. Look at the replay. I said, is it venting a form of complaining? And Lady C said, yes. If somebody needs to get something off their chest,
form of expressing yourself, your feelings, your emotions.
When somebody complain about something,
no.
Oh my God.
Hey, come on.
When somebody sit there and say, "Oh, this person cut me off the road, and I'm at work late," that's them venting to somebody, but they also complaining. Also complaining.
Hold up.
No, ding-ling what?
Well, ding-ling-ling-ling-ling. Let me hit the bell. Let me hit the bell for you. Guess what? Now, what you just said, look, hold on. What you just said, listen, they complaining about being late because somebody cut them off. Guess what? If they left early enough, guess what? They would have got there in time. Even if they got cut off, they still. So guess what? What happens is somebody cut them off, right? And they probably was rushing to get to work. Now they got cut off. Let's put things in perspective, because guess
But
what?
we
If you
wasn't
gotta
talking
be
about
to
that. We
work at
saw
9
the.
o'clock,
I was
don't think
focusing
about
on
leaving
the
at
word
8
complaining.
o'clock and things happen. Come on, stop playing, man. Stop.
I was
the
focused
nonsense.
on the word complaining, not what coulda, shoulda, woulda. Not
Guess
shoulda,
what?
coulda,
I
woulda.
was going to say the same
Complaining.
thing.
Complaining.
Thank you, Lady C.
That's how I was. Look, that's how I was late. Guess what? Did you leave 20 minutes before your shift was supposed to start?
That's not what the focal point was.
That's
That
not
wasn't what the
complaining.
focal point was.
That's
That's
complaining.
not what the focal point
You
was.
can't. Well, guess what? You ain't complaining to me.
So
See?
don't. And listen. Since he wants to talk about godly man, let's say a prayer for Chef, because the moment he has a bad time in his life and he want to complain to somebody or vent to him, the whole world should turn their back and say, "No, nigga."
But
no, nigga. That's what we should do.
But
no,
guess
nigga.
what, D?
Come on,
See,
bro.
I
That's not
understand
compassion.
about that.
That's not
I
compassion.
ain't complaining. Things like, look, hold on. Let me show you something, bro. Let me break something down for you.
You never complain.
You're not listening. You're not listening. You got listening. And Lady T, a witness to this. Watch this. I did not once complain about my knee. I said, guess what? I got to go through this. Guess what? It happened. I was just sitting down. It happened. I ain't say, I can't go to work. I got to be out of work for. No, I didn't. I said, you know what? I'm going to go through this, because guess what? It was a process. Guess what? I get up every day at 5 o'clock. I be up 3 o'clock in the morning every day, hustling, bustling, going to work. Guess what? God said, listen, I ain't do nothing. Like I said, I ain't hurt it just happened. And guess what? I didn't complain. I didn't call nobody and say, I'm out of. No, I didn't do that. Guess what? I went through it. I didn't say nothing to nobody. And if somebody asked me, I say, yeah, I got arthritis in my knee. And it happened. Just like that. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't say, why I got to go through this? What I do wrong? No, I didn't. Everybody different. Everybody do things different. I'm telling you about what I do. I can't tell you about what you do. With Genesis.
Anytime you get on a roll, you complain. You have road rage.
No, I don't have.
Complain every time you get on a roll. Yes, you do. You ever drove with him before, Lacey? You ever been in the car with him?
I've been on the phone with him. Yep.
Yes.
And I've drove. I have.
Okay,
I've heard. I know what you're saying.
What does he do? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Anytime
on the roll, he complain. And he's like, shoot, this what it is. No. It's called complaining. It's called complaining.
What is versus texting and driving? Come on.
See, every single time. Every single time.
All the time.
In New Jersey.
I'm talking about his situation. Listen, he complains every time he get on the road, and he says he don't listen to complainers. Well, we all supposed to listen to him when he's going to complain. Come on.
How you know?
Come on now.
Talking to me on the phone? Oh.
Yes. Did I not come there? My son I dropped your son off, and then you be on the road. Every time you're on the road, all you do is complain. I'm like, what happened now? I'm like this. I'm like this, Lady T. I'm like, oh my God, what happened now, Chef?
Yeah. Chef, do you think you can go one day, one time, 1 week without complaining on when you get in your car? Not open up your mouth not once and say anything? You don't think you could do it? You coughing it.
I do.
No, that cough came out like you.
I do.
The cough was coming out.
Y'all trying to validate all of that. No, stop. Let's stop trying to validate.
You validated.
No, I ain't validating nothing.
You validated.
Look, D. I can't tell you how to be, but guess what? I can.
This ain't about me. This is about you.
Right. I'm telling you. I'm not listening to no complainer, but I know to distinguish. I know how to say a person that's going to complain versus venting. It's a difference. It's a big difference, brother. Okay, my brother. Venting and complaining is a difference. If you think they're the same, so be it. And we don't got to argue about that no more. So whatever you think, if you think venting and complaining is the same, so be it.
They see his mind's like this. How many times it got to be 2 against 1, 3 against 1, and he still say the same thing? I just really don't understand.
And listen, it's never 2 against 1. Never. Don't ever think that. It's never 2 against
1. It was me and Lady T against you like damn near the whole time. No, and then even if I ain't on here,
that's how you felt. Watch this. That's how you felt. I didn't feel that way.
Oh my God, Lady T.
You gotta look when you listen to him. I admire his tenacity. He's oblivious to a lot of things sometimes, and he's okay with it.
But hold up, wait a minute. When I tell you my story, right, and where I came from and how I've become the man that I am, guess what? It's because of the stories. It's because of my trials and my tribulations. It's because of the people that have helped me and guided me to this person. And guess what? So you can't nobody tell me how I got to this or I derived to this person. I'm a better person. I'm a better man, a better father, a better leader. I ain't no follower. I'm a leader. And guess what? A leader makes mistakes sometimes. I understand that. I recognize that. And see, that's the difference. That's a big difference. Humbling. That had to grow on me. So I don't know what you over there capping about, but listen, when I'm wrong about something, I can be able to go and tell
use the word cap. I'm just saying, you too old to be capping. I mean,
my bad. I was wrong. You know what? I had to rethink, reiterated that. So I had to change that. See what I'm saying? That's the difference. That's the big picture of it. That's who I am, who I've become. I can't be right in everything. Can you say that? Can you say that with me? Can you say that with me? I can't be right.
That's my son. I told you.
Yeah, I see. Look, I know, man. I know. And see, and you know what? The big thing about it is this. Guess what? They're go. Uh-oh. Well, somebody said something. Hold on.
He's trying to get at his thoughts. He backpedaling again. He on his back against the ropes.
He does not see that. He's standing strong. He stands on his foundations of what he believes. That's all you can look at it as.
Yeah, that's why sometimes you just gotta take a step back and bless him. Sometimes.
Guess what? You are absolutely right. Guess what? Blessings all over here. That is exactly right. Blessings. Woo! Greatly.
Yeah.
And guess what? Listen, not because of me, D. Not because of what I want to do. Is people lives have been changed, encouraged, uplifted. It ain't got me. I ain't saying I'm right and everybody else is wrong. No, I'm not doing that. That's not my intent. That's not my motive. At the end of the day, guess what? But guess what? At the end of the day, I tell people this: look in the mirror and see what you can fix about yourself. About yourself. What do you need to fix? And guess what? If you don't know what you need to fix, guess what? You got to find out, because everybody need to be fixed. There's something about everybody that can change, that can be increased, not decreased. So that's the big thing. You got to know that. See, I do. Lady T, you know that?
Yeah.
Surrender. Surrender.
He woke up this morning and put it in his phone. He says,
surrender.
Siri, give me the word of the day.
Hey. Oh, you want me to give you a word of the day for you, D?
No. That's not what I said.
Okay.
But you can do whatever you're so inclined to do. Like, you feel inclined to give me a word of the day, feel free. Feel free.
Unconditional love.
That's not a word of the day.
But that's my word.
That's a saying. That's not a word. A word is singular.
Hey, unconditional love.
Singular.
There you
that's
go.
Not a word. That's not a
word
word of the day.
You want to give me a word? You want to give me a word for me?
Cat, bat. Come on, say my end.
Unconditional love.
Lady C, what is wrong with you? Word of the day, he give me multiple. Jesus.
I get what?
It was 2 words, Chef. Unconditional love. 2 words.
Oh God, move on, please, move on.
I'm looking at Lady T. What?
I
see what it is. Lady T that. That's why she laughing.
Hey, Lady T, he must be on delayed again, because he said, I don't look at it as 2-on-1. It's been 2-on-1 the whole time. And now he's saying this. Oh,
I
whose side you on?
Thank you,
he just said it.
Lady T just wanted she wanted to double team me there because Roddy not here. It's okay though. It's all right.
No, it's not like that.
It's all right. It's okay.
But I am glad, Desmond's here. It's not just me, because be by myself, whew, Lord, it's a lot by myself. They know, y'all know.
Lady T. Well,
Chef, what you got? What you got in the work? Oh, you was about to end it? Oh, my bad.
No, you good. What you want to say? No.
I was like, what you got in the works for the rest of the week, man? What's on your agenda? What's your plan? What's your vision board looking like?
Well, we got I should be going back to work Thursday. Tomorrow's show. We got some new guests coming up this month. I'm actually one of the guests that was on your show going to be on my show Saturday, hopefully.
Who's that?
I don't know. I don't remember her name. The one I think you did it on Saturday too. She was talking about. It was like recently. Yeah, she said her parents was living in that country and they cut her mom's arm off or something.
Okay.
You remember what I'm talking about?
I think so.
You did the show on Saturday too. She only could do it on Saturdays, I think.
On Saturday?
Yeah. You did it on a
Saturday. Now I'm
Saturday.
super confused.
You did it on Saturday. She's from another country. She live here now though.
Yeah, so now I'm confused. I thought I knew it was something, but yeah.
You remember the country she's from?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell Desmond. Hold on, D. I'll tell you. Her name is. She just texted me. But yeah, with that being said, I should be back at work, and back on the grind. I have hopefully a food truck. Looking for the sponsors to get it for me, and see how it works. Hopefully, I get that. That's big. That was big. It was a connection that while I was at work, I was out with a couple of friends, and his son had one. He don't use it no more, so that could be good. That could be big for me. Something to be my own to start off with the food truck is something I really wanted. Hold on.
Yeah, I know you've been talking about it for a while, man. We have, Lady C, Chef and I have a lot of similarities here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can recognize the pattern. No,
role model.
That's my son. We ain't gonna get into all that,
Role model. Oh, Lady T.
Yes.
Her name is Masida Mimic. I might be saying it. You know what I'm talking about, D?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, but Lady T, I wanted to say to you that I gave Lady J your Facebook.
Okay.
She been asking for you, so I don't. I wanted to tell you that I gave it to her, but family. Doctors in the building, y'all. Oh man, I wish she could have joined us. This would have been real interesting for her. I mean, if you want to come in for a little bit, I mean, you're welcome because I see you dropped in. Hit a thumbs up if you would like to, because I surely would like to hear. Yeah. Doctor, if you want to come on in, you welcome to come on in because I would love to hear your thoughts on letting go of what no longer serves you. Hit a thumbs up for me. Woo! But look, our show was real nice when we did it. But let me see. Let's see.
You got the topic for tomorrow?
Yeah, topic for tomorrow is Lady T. What's the topic for tomorrow?
I don't have my phone next to me. Sorry.
Lord Jesus. Jesus. I got it on.
I can't even find my phone.
I got you.
It's wild. I gotta schedule stuff for myself because now I'm about to be out of work. Okay. I don't have mobility in my hand. I can only feel two of my fingers. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
All right, tomorrow. Tomorrow is gonna be real juicy.
He said to wait. I don't know if he wanted it on
gender roles. Biblical versus modern interpretation.
Oh shit!
Allison, no.
I heard gender roles. I said, oh yeah. And then I heard it's a biblical. I say Jesus.
No, listen. Biblical versus modern day interpretation. The modern day is something totally different versus the biblical.
That's yours, right?
That's yours. Don't talk about. Lady T, don't go. These all topics is all yours. Don't even drop no bomb on me. Talking about, this is all you. I told you this summertime is all for you. You got these this all you. Wintertime, I'm gonna jump in. This all for you. So don't even go there. Everything. We got 35. We got
I don't
more
even like that topic. I don't know
Huh?
how that got on the list.
Yeah, you did it, not me. But
Yeah.
listen,
Come up with something else.
it's always a pleasure to be here. It's always nothing but laughter, nothing but joy. At the end of the day, it's a conversation. It's no arguments, no debate. It's not. What is it going to be? Like listen. That's what we want to do. That's what we want to do. We want to have a conversation, and then sometimes we want your comments to be revealed, and we want you to share your thoughts on the conversation. Don't just sit here and watch. Hey, make your comments. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hey, listen, what are you doing? You sitting at home doing something that's either going to be prosperous or not. You sitting and watching those raunchy shows. Hey, look, come on over here, have a conversation with us. From the battle to the glory. That's what it is. We all have a story. Right or wrong.
I thought he's about to start rapping for a minute.
No, but listen, at the end of the day,
from the battle to the glory, we all got a story.
You like that, huh? Surround, baby, surround. But at the end of the day, listen, that's what I want people to come here with. When you come here, I want you smiling. When you leave here, I want you smiling. Because that's the type of atmosphere that I start. I want you smiling. I want you like filled with happiness, even though you got a rough time. Oh, I tell you, crazy. Lizzie said you spitting them bars. Mm-hmm. But no, at the end of the day, man, that's what I do, man. I love to see people smiling. And I'm not a comedian, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a desire to be one, but I like to see you smiling because guess what? Life not promised tomorrow. You gotta live for today, and then you wake up and you say, "Lord, thank you for allowing me to be woken up again." You got another opportunity to do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I like. I like to see. I always tell people when you come in here, you gotta smile. Don't come in here with all that. Oh, I had a long day. That's that complaining. Hey, guess what? You got a job. You know how many people that don't have a job that wish they could go and get a job? Man, listen. I know some people. They go through stuff. They come right out and they get a job. Others, no, that's not the case for them. You know what I'm saying? They go to prison. They can't come out of a job. But some people go to jail, come right back out and got a job. Ooh, and they don't even understand that. Some people can't even find one. So notice that you are blessed beyond your imagine. I can't even say it, bro. Like for real. Like I never had the opportunity. Like when I got a job, I kept it. Unless I say, "Yo, this ain't for me. I'm out. Peace." I quit on. Out of all my whole career, I quit on 2 jobs. I straight said, "Nah, you ain't gonna hold me down. Stop me from progression. Nah, sorry. I'm moving on. You can't stop me." Some people like to do that. I ain't gonna get into that. It's a whole nother topic. Bah! Good. My son, y'all. That's my June, y'all.
Everything I say, he try to throw back. That's my son for real. My son for real.
Hey, yo, listen, that's the end of the day's topic and show, man. I will see y'all tomorrow. You guys be blessed. Peace. Oh, my God.